Good evening, good evening, good evening, my brothers and sisters. How are you doing this beautiful evening? I hope that you all had a very, very good week and a good weekend. We at the dawn of a new week. Thank God we are here, my brothers and sisters. By the way, come on in, come on in. It's dinner time. Come sit at the table. We got plenty of room and we got plenty of food for the soul. Come on in, brothers and sisters. I hope that you have a hunger and thirst for what we're going to discuss tonight at the dinner table. If this is your first time at the dinner table, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tony M. Toomer, and I talk about relationships. I talk about relationships basically from a spiritual point of view. And when I say a spiritual point of view, I strongly believe, and this is my position when it comes to relationship, I strongly believe that God created a man uniquely and he had a special relationship with the man. Secondly, I strongly believe that God had a unique relationship with the woman. Thirdly, I strongly believe that God represented the woman to the man, and in the presence of God, the man Adam said in reference to Eve, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, I should call a woman because she came from man. That's the position I come from when it comes to a relationship, okay? Now, if you come to the dinner table and you have another point of view of what a relationship should be like, or you have what is called a free will, you can do whatever you choose to do because God gave you a free will. However, if you're at the dinner table, I specifically talk about the relationship that God ordained and instituted back in the book of Genesis. So that's my position. So with that said, we're about to get to the meal at the dinner table. And tonight, when you look at the menu, my brother and sister, look at the topic or what's on the menu. It's why do a lot of women search for real love? Again, why do a lot of women search for real love? When I say a lot of women, I'm really talking about a lot of women that really have a strong desire to be in a serious covenant relationship that will not, well, not covenant, but a serious and committed relationship that will lead to a covenant relationship. That's what I'm basically talking about. I'm not talking about just women just desiring to have men, because there are some women that don't desire to have no man. There are some women that doesn't desire to be in a relationship, but I'm specifically talking about those that desire to be in a relationship, and it seems like it's hard to for a man to really love a woman how she needs to be loved. How you doing, Casper, on that? Real love or fantasy? That's right. Real love is a fantasy. That's what we're about to talk about this evening. Now, there are a lot of women, good women that is, a lot of good women that exist who desires to be in a relationship with only one man. Only one man. And those few women, of the most women, those few women have never tasted or experienced what real love is. And that's what we're discussing at the dinner table. Now, we're going to go back a few years, my brother and sister. We're going to go back to the year and the month, the date, and the year of July 28, 1992. There was this artist, and she's still alive today. She's known as Mary J. Blige. If you all remember Mary J. Blige, Mary J. released a song during that time, and she released it, and it became a real big hit. It was like a little national anthem for a lot of women that was searching for what is called real love, to the desire to be in a relationship with one good man. And the song, as you all know, it was called Real Love. We're going to discuss that in depth at the dinner table tonight. Now, brothers, you really, really need to listen up. And sisters, tonight, all you have to do is like enjoy the meal tonight and see what I'm going to expound, not explain to the brothers. Now, before I get into that, how many of you sisters really, and would you really be honest with yourself, ever been in a relationship with a man that you thought everything was going okay and everything was just right, but you find out in the process of time that he really wasn't into you? Now, there are a lot of you sisters You, for some reason, you met this guy and you thought he was Mr. Wonderful, right? But it was something that was needling at you, but you ignored those red flags. But overall, he seemed to be a good guy. When you look at it from the outside, he probably was tall, dark, and handsome. He dressed well, very well. He spoke fluently. He had that swag, had a good cologne on, had money in the ATM machine. He had assets and all the hoopla and stuff. But it was something that was needling you. And that was a red flag, sisters. And a lot of you got in a position where you are, and you were a good woman at that time. You still is presently a good woman, but for some reason, real love have passed you by. You thought that you was in love. You desired to be in love. You really wanted the man to be in love with you, but he could not just feel that void on the inside of you. And understand this, sister. I had a talk with a sister. Let me see what night it was. Last night, I talked to a sister, and she was up in age, and she basically said she never experienced what real love is about. And there's a lot of you sisters right now, you never really experienced real love. You got the fantasy version of real love, but you never really got the real top of what real love is about. Now, when a good woman is searching for real love from a man, it isn't the same as running after a man or searching for a quote unquote new love. So it's a different of a woman searching for real love instead of looking for a man. And as you all know, that was a song got some years ago by Jodie Watley that formerly with the group Charlemagne. She came from Soul Train. She had a song out. It was a popular song. I'm looking for a new love. It was a hit. But in general, my brothers, especially my sister, you never go looking for a man. No woman should never go looking for a man. That's out of order. Why do I say that? Because when you look in God's word has a formula, and it has how a relationship normally comes to pass. As it is written in the book of Proverbs 18:22. Again, Proverbs 18:22. Proverbs 18:22. It said, whosoever findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtain favor from the Lord. Again, when you look at God's word, it doesn't say a woman that finds a husband. It said whosoever finds a wife finds a good thing and obtain favor of the Lord. So the Lord is very instrumental when it comes to a relationship. And sister, you need to understand this tonight. God uses your life circumstances wherever you are in life. God present you to a man by life circumstance. And then that's how that man finds you, because God set up the situation. Normally, the man is not per se looking at a woman, looking for no woman at that particular time. And at that particular time, a woman normally is not looking, searching for true love. She might be busy. And I always say this, she might be putting gas in her car. She might be at a filling station. She may be walking in the park, wherever she at. God set up the circumstance or the situation where as a man find a woman. And as you all know, I always go to this classic, and you all know the classic where I go to. I always use this situation of Boaz and Ruth. As you all know, my brother and sister, Ruth never went looking for a man. She had a desire for a man, but she never went looking for a man. Ruth priority was God first, her relationship with God first, and her second thing was taking care of herself and her mother-in-law. So Ruth was not looking for a man, but she had a desire for a man. Ruth was a good woman, and God seen that she was a good woman. By the way, when God created Ruth, like he created a lot of you sisters, God created If you're a Christian now, let me specify. If you're a Christian, God knows a lot of you sisters, you desire to be in a good relationship. But unfortunately, a lot of you sisters, you gave in to your emotions. You know, you call in general, women are emotional. You gave into your emotional uh side of your soul, because the soul is composed of the mind, the will, and emotion. But a lot, it's natural. Women are basically driven by the emotion. So you got into a situation where you let your emotions lead, and you got into a situation where you thought the man was the one. And you see, a lot of times, sisters, when you get into a relationship with a man that you think is real love, and that man pull himself away from you, he really was not the man that found you. Because God is the only one that calls a real man, a Christian man, to find you. God never brings a worldly man to find you, sister. So tonight you need to understand that God never brings a worldly man to find you. God calls a Christian man to find you, a man that follow him himself through his son Jesus Christ. So, sisters, that's what you got to understand. Never go looking for a man, but you can search for what real love is. When I said search for what real love is, whenever a man come to you, you have to be able to use your gift. You have a gift in you, my sister. You have a spirit of wisdom. You have a spirit of knowledge. You have a spirit of understanding, and you have a spirit of discernment. So you have to use your gifts that the Lord equip in you. If you do not use the gift that the Lord put in you, you're going to be blinded. And if you blind yourself, sister, that's on you, because God gonna always give you a warning. How you doing, Sister Rhonda and Sister Jay? Welcome to the dinner table. By the way, those of you that coming in or at the dinner table, I'm on two different platforms at this particular time live. I'm on the Tube and I'm on the book. If you're on the book, I may make some comments to those on the Tube. You can't see their comments, and vice versa. Those of you on the Tube, I may make some comments to those on the book, but you can't see their comments. But we're here. By the way, my brothers and sisters, if it's a comment that you would like to make at the dinner table, we're family and friends here. You could go ahead and say whatever you have to say. You can ask a question if you want to, because that's what we do at the dinner table. We take in this good food for the soul, and when we take in this good food for the soul, we can share. Okay. But getting back to what I was saying, sometimes, sisters, you really desire to be in a good relationship, but the guy that you got a relationship with, you went by your emotion instead of being led by God. That so, sister, the real reason why a lot of time love have escaped you is because you did not ask God. You went totally by your emotion. That's why I always tell you, sisters, I say, when a man come up to talk to you, you need to say a quick prayer to God. You ain't got to get on your knees at that time, because God could listen to you. You could say a silent prayer to God, and you could ask God. You could say, Lord, why is this man approaching me? You can ask the Lord, and you need to ask the Lord, show me why this man is approaching me. And when you ask God to show you why this man is approaching you, the Lord will open up your discernment. And when the Lord open up your discernment, you don't go by your feeling, then you go by what the Spirit is prompting you, my sister. So if you go by what the Spirit tell you, when you go by what the Spirit tell you, you won't get yourself in that debacle and have a man to mislead you. Then he leave you. Because a lot of time, you sister, you good godly sister, when you put your all into a relationship, you put your all. That's why it hurts so much. And when it hurts so much, that's why it's difficult for the right man that come behind this wrong man, or a series of men, to actually help you, and you got this wall up. So a lot of times, you sister, you're a good sisters, and you have this thing where you don't trust men. As a matter of fact, you don't supposed to trust nobody 100% but the Lord anyway. But you got to have a level of trust when it comes to a man, especially the right man. So after you say a prayer to the God, my sister, that's when you you supposed to, when you're searching for what is called real love, not a man. You don't go looking for a man. You search for real love. When the man come to you, the Lord gonna illuminate this man. You're gonna be able to see whether he's a Christian or not. That's a key thing. Is he a Christian or is he not a Christian? Okay, you have to do that. And then you have to see, as I have always said, my sister, you need to ask that man a series of questions. First of all, you need to ask that man, why, what caused you to step up and talk to me? That's what you need to ask that man. Why did you come to talk to me? And sister, when you listen to it, that's at the time you got 2 ears and 1 mouth. So that means you're supposed to listen twice as much as you talk. So you ask the man, why did you approach me? Most men are not ready to answer that question. And then you got to listen, because a lot of you sisters, you have heard different type of lines coming from different type of men. But a man, that a godly man, he's gonna step up to you and he's gonna say something like that. This is something that I see in you that I want to do for you. I am the real media. Welcome to the dinner table. I am the real media said women look for real love because it's part of her nature. But I agree 100% that women need to be smart about love. Women believe too much in fantasies. Good point. I am the real medium. So a lot of you sisters, subconsciously, you have downloaded a lot of Disney classics, cartoons like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Sleeping Beauty, and all that kind of stuff. How you doing, sister? Alex, welcome to Alexa, welcome to the dinner table. And also, I am the real media, Cynthia, and the rest of you. Thank you for coming to the dinner table. I'm not going to hold you long, by the way, but sister, you need to see whether God caused that man to find you. He's not. God will never bring nobody to you to hurt you. When God bring a man to you, look at the situation. Look at how Boaz approached Ruth. Boaz did not want nothing from Ruth. He wanted to do something for Ruth. You understand that? Worldly men don't look to do nothing for you. They look to get something from you. If you noted the strategy that Boaz had, Boaz was thinking about a few things when he first seen, and I always talk about this. So a lot of you got to listen to this again as I regurgitate it. When Boaz first seen Ruth, Boaz, he looked at Ruth and he asked this guy a question that was over Ruth, because Ruth was working on Boaz's property. They never met before. They never met. So how God orchestrated this, Ruth was put in front of Boaz so he could see her. And that's how he found Ruth. God did all the lead work. She didn't know him. He didn't know her, but he did a quick background check on her by asking the farm about it. And he informed Boaz about Ruth was basically Naomi's daughter-in-law. Naomi had a kinship with Boaz. You understand? So he was familiar with Naomi's situation, which led to Ruth, because Ruth's husband had died, okay? But she still had a desire for a man. Ruth had a desire for a godly man, not just for a man, but the key thing is she did not go looking. But back to Boaz, first thing he wanted to say is this. He told the farmer, he said, I want you to give her extra food, which he did. And that's showing something about Boaz. He was looking to provide for Ruth. And then the second thing he told the farmer, he said, and protect her. He said, don't let nobody mess with her. And you know, another thing Boaz do. So he was doing all this before he said one word to Ruth. He seen that in her. Ruth had an aura about her. Boaz seen other women, but Ruth stood out because she had the aura of the Spirit of the Lord that was radiating from her. The Bible doesn't say how Ruth looked physically, but I could tell you what Boaz seen. He seen the beauty of what was inside of Ruth, which was the Lord Jesus Christ. That's what he seen. And then when Boaz talked to Ruth, he still didn't want nothing from her. He wanted to spend what was called quality time with her. And we're going to talk about that briefly. So Boaz, believe it or not, Boaz set up to, he invited Ruth to have dinner with him. He didn't say they didn't have no movies or nothing like that. But Boaz, he did not ask Ruth, let's go to a private place where nobody can't see us so I could just get you on your back. Boaz wasn't about that. Boaz was about learning the woman. That's what Boaz was about, learning the woman. As a matter of fact, like, and you all have heard this story, folks. That portrait up there of my wife and me. Well, the first thing I told her when I met her, that's Cinderella, you all. I call her real name is Quest, but I call her Cinderella, call her Shoe Fit. The first thing I told her when I met her, I said, you're a beautiful looking woman. You're very attractive, but I said, I have to know how you think. And you see, Boaz, he had to know how Ruth think. And my wife and I, when we first met, we met at one of my nieces' baby shower. That's where we first met at. And when we had our first date, we went out to eat. And that's when you get a man get to know a woman. You don't take no woman to no rest or no moving or nothing. You can't talk in no restaurant. A man needs to be able to talk to a woman, and that man also supposed to look at what can I do for the woman, not what I can extract from her. Because if the woman is a God, God had prepared the woman to be your wife. Brother, when God calls a woman to you to find a woman, he have already prepared her to be a wife. She's a Proverbs 31 woman. She ready. That doesn't mean she's perfect, but she's ready. Just like Ruth was not perfect, but she was ready when Boaz found her because the Lord orchestrated. When I found my wife, God orchestrated it for me to see her. You understand? And then we talked, just like Boaz talked. When I met my wife, I was not looking to get her on her back. You understand? I was looking for a woman that, just like Boaz, I was looking for a woman that I could see that I want to do something for her. Not leading with my pockets. I want to do something for her long term, not temporary. I looked at my wife, I say, that's a woman that I want to provide for. That's a woman that I want to protect. But the first thing I wanted a woman to lead to Christ, to follow me as I follow Christ. As a matter of fact, my brother and sister, some of you all know a little about my story. I prayed to God when I found my wife. I said, Lord, and I paraphrasing, I would like a wife to follow me as I follow Christ. That's the prayer that I prayed to the Lord. And it took 5 years from that prayer. And during those 5-year intervals, I dated other women, but the Lord helped me back from actually messing up and getting the wrong woman, because I have went down that road before several times. The reason why I ended up with the wrong woman, my brother and sister, because I was doing it Tony's way. I was rebelling against God. So since I was rebelling against God, that's why I kept running into the wrong relationship. And I don't blame those women. When I said the wrong relationship, I'm talking about someone that I've really invested time in. I ain't talking about no woman that you see every now and then. I ain't talking about no woman that you date. I'm talking about a woman that I actually invested time in. Because I'm going to tell you this, my sister. Men know from a short period of time when they first meet you, whether or not they see you as a wife or they don't see you as a wife. So if you don't know, you know tonight. Men know on a short period of time whether he view you as a wife or not. So, and for a man to view that, and especially a Christian man, when he approach a woman, he's supposed to approach a woman whereas he asks God too. A man's supposed to ask God, God, handpick me a wife. That's right, Sister Rhonda. Handpick a wife. That's what a man's supposed to ask God. Handpick a wife. And the brother, don't have a long list for God. You just leaving it in God's hand. God knows what type of woman that you need. You see, worldly men, they look for trophy women. Now, if God sprinkle a little beauty in the woman, that's all on God. But you see, brother, you need a woman that got godly character on the inside of her. Because you see, when God created the woman, when you look at the Bible, he created the woman to be a helpmeet. And the Bible also say that it is written that The man was not created for the woman, but the woman was created for a wife. So, brother, when God bring a woman to you, you supposed to know what to do for the woman. And not only that, you supposed to be prepared before you even be interested in a woman. You need a relationship with God, brother. Not only do you need a relationship with God, you need to have somewhere to stay. You need to have some form of resources coming in so you could take care of yourself. You could take care of that woman and possibly some children. You understand? So you need to be able to lead that woman. I'm going to get to that shortly. You need to be able to have that woman somewhere to stay and to make sure that you take care of her physical needs. When I say physical need, I'm not only talking about sex. I'm talking about you. So you have to meet that woman's spiritual needs and that woman um physical needs. Okay, that means food, clothing, and shelter, and so on and so forth. So um what is a real woman searching for? Let's talk about that. Let's 7 point what a real woman is looking for. Now, brothers, when a good woman is searching for real love, not superficial love, but when a Christian woman is really looking for real love, it's not the same as searching for a man. Real Christian women do not run after men. So you got to understand that. Don't run after men. Live your life. Just live your life and delight in the Lord, and He gonna see it. The God gonna cause the right man to find you at His own and His real time. That's right, sister Alexa. Yes, get out of that uh fantasy mindset. That's right. God position Ruth to be found by Boaz. That's right. That's right. And Sister Ron said hand picked waving. Okay, thank you. Now, brother, you got to understand it. Listen up, brother, sister. What I want you to do, I want you to listen to these points that I'm about to make to the brothers. So you just chill and eat your dinner at the dinner table. And brother, I really need for you to listen up. Listen up. Number one, this is what a good woman, a Christian woman, uh seek for when it comes to real love from a real man. Number one, she prays to God to send a man that's real to lead her. That's what a Christian woman searching for, brother, in a man. A Christian woman, notice I said she's searching for, she prays to God to send her a man that can give her real love. Notice I didn't say she looking for a man to take care of her. I didn't say that, did I? I didn't say she looking for a man to put money in her hand to give her assets and stuff. She's not looking for that. That will come with the package of a real man. Okay, God is going to cause the real man to be established when He finds the right woman. Because God is orchestrating this. There's several examples of God bringing a woman to the man. I'm going to name them again. When He brought Eve to Adam, God did that. When He brought Rebecca to Isaac, God did that. When He brought Rebecca to Isaac, God did it. When He brought Rachel and Leah, but He was more love with Leah, called Leah and Rachel were sisters. Talk about Jacob with name with Israel. Now Jacob, he really loved Rachel, okay? And that's where he had Benjamin and Joshua with Rachel, the woman that he really loved. And Boaz was brought to Ruth. And let me give you another classic. Abraham, he sent his servant to his home country to have God to select a real woman for his son Isaac. You understand? So a lot of you fathers out there, you need to if you have a good relationship with your son, you're supposed to try to guide your son on what type of woman that needs to be in his life. A godly woman. It was so serious with Abraham. Abraham had his servant to go to his homeland to get Rebecca. And when that servant went to Abraham's homeland, that servant asked God to hand pick the woman for his master's son. And that servant of Abraham, he prayed to God, and it was basically like that. He asked God. It was a whole lot of ladies that were going to this water where the body of water was at, and they were putting water in the water pot. So he didn't know what woman to pick for his master's son. So when he prayed to God, and he said, and this is how it went. Lord, called the woman to, when she get the water, to offer me some water and offer my beast some water, which are camels. So it was a whole bunch of women went by, but this one woman, Rachel, no, not Rachel, but Rebecca, she asked Abraham's servant, "Do you want some water?" Then she said, "Well, let me give some water to your beast with camel." And that's how God answered his prayer. And so that's how you do it, brother. You ask God to handpick the woman. So back to you, sisters, you're supposed to pray that God send you a man that would lead you. You see, the Bible clearly tells a man, it says, husband, love your wife. It doesn't say boyfriends love your wife. It doesn't say a man that you see every now and then love your wife. It doesn't say live in shackingly or love the woman. It say husband. So in order for a man to love you, sister, how you need to be loved, and brother, how you supposed to love woman, how she need to be loved, what is your position with the woman? You can't just be going with the woman. You got to have in your mind to be serious with the woman. You have to be in your mind to be committed to the woman with your heart, your mind, and your heart. Then you have to set a date to be in a covenant relationship with the woman. That's how God preferred for a man and woman to be. God preferred for a man and woman to either be engaged, moving toward marriage with a date, or marry her, straight out marry her. God don't have time for no boyfriend, girlfriend. So, brother, if you continue to date woman, that you wasting your time and her time. Sister, if you continue to date a man and date a man and date a man, he know whether or not he see you as a wife. So sister, you can't assume nothing. You have to ask questions day one. You need to know where that man is going, why he would like to be in a relationship with you. That's what your sister need. You can't assume. You can't assume this man look at you as being a wife. You got to understand that. You understand? How you doing, Sister Sherry Smith? Welcome to the dinner table. Now, after she prayed to God to send her man that real, he would lead her. How would he lead her? Welcome, Sherry, to the dinner table. Welcome, welcome, welcome. She would pray for a man to lead her. And how would that man lead her? Spiritually first. So, sister, when a man find you, and brother, you need to know that. Are you a spiritual driven man? Do you have a relationship with Christ? If you don't have a relationship with Christ, it may be your first time listening to me saying it, but if you're a Christian man, you already know that you're supposed to have a relationship with Christ. How can a man love a woman unless he has Christ in him? A man cannot love a woman outside of having a relationship with Christ. He can't do it, because Christ is love. Christ is God. He's God the Son. So man need to have Christ. And sister, if you searching for love, not a man. You see, love come from God, sister. So if love come from God, how you doing, Sister Flo? Welcome to the dinner table. If love come from God, he has to have God in him, which is the Holy Spirit. That is the Spirit of Christ. He needs the Spirit of Christ. That's the only way a man can love a woman. He cannot love no woman outside of Christ. That's the power. The power is the Spirit in him that guide him, that lead him and show him and teach him how to love a woman and how to lead a woman. Number two, brother, this is what a woman search for when she's searching for love, not a man. She's looking for this. She wants inspiration from him. What do I mean by inspiration? If the man is a godly man, if he's ready to lead the woman, this man knows to get his woman attention. He need to be laser focused. Women love attention, especially, brother, the woman that the Lord bring to you. It's work. It's work, brother. You got to give her unlimited attention. You have to give your woman attention every day. Once you get married, brother, you don't have no off days. Even if your wife go on vacation by herself, or you go somewhere or whatever, it's all about inspiration. You have to talk to her every day. And let me tell you this, brother. If you don't make contact with your woman every day, I can understand if you in military or something like that. But if you're not in the military, and especially if you are in a serious, committed, and covenant relationship, you have to communicate with your woman every day. You don't have no days off. Even if she go on vacation or whatever with her family or friends, or you do, or you go on a business trip, you have to make contact with her every day. You don't go one day without communicating with your woman. Does God go one day without wanting to communicate with you, brother? No, he doesn't. God want to communicate with you throughout the day. As a matter of fact, my wife with that, like when I go to work, we communicate throughout the day. We communicate throughout the day. If she go before me, she sending me a text message. And when I get to work, I call her and let her know that I'm at work. When she get to work, she communicate with me that she at work. We contact each other throughout the day. Are we keeping tabs on one another? No, we're not. But you see, when God bring a man and a woman together, they are what? One flesh. You understand? So I need to know what's going on with her, and she needs to know what's going on with me. So inspiration, that's attention, and then after that, it's uplifting words of encouragement. Brother, you have to uplift this woman. That means you have to know how to talk to her. You got to everything that come out of your mouth is supposed to be uplifting. If it's not going to be uplifting, don't even say it. Don't say it. If it's not gonna uplift her, don't even say it. How you doing, sister Leslie here? Welcome to the dinner table. Then after that, she needs a good ear. She needs a good ear. This is part of inspiration. Do you have a good ear? Women love to talk, and a lot of complaints since I do counseling on the side, my brothers and sisters. One of the main things what women complain about, he doesn't want to talk to me. That's one of the things. So, brother, or listen, listen and talk. Brother, the first thing you do, you want to be able to listen to your woman. And a lot of time, brother, don't listen to try to fix the problem. A lot of time they don't want you to fix it. They just want you to listen. And when you listen, you got to listen, and she got to feel, because she feels, she got to feel that you listen. You got to have empathy when you're in a communication with a woman, and you got to respond back to her. If it's something that you don't understand, you got to articulate to her to rephrase what she's saying if you don't understand. And you see, brother, you don't have no feminine side. The only feminine side you have is your woman. That's your feminine side. So when God calls you to be one, you're supposed to empathize with her. And after the attention, we're on point number 2, and that's inspiration, the attention, the uplifting word, and be a good listener. Then she needs what? A tender touch. Brothers, if you with your woman every day, you need to touch her. I didn't say have sex with her every day. I'm talking about touch her. Touch her hand. Kiss her on the cheek. Touch her. When you go to bed at night, touch her. And I'm not telling you everything that going on in our bedroom, my brother and sister, but every night when I get into bed with my wife, I touch her every night. Every night. Every night. When I go to bed, she could be all over the bed, but when she hear me coming into the bedroom, though buying the ear she got, because she got some buying her ear. You all think that lady, that the buying woman had buying the ear. My wife got buying the ear. She hear everything. She could hear a piece of lint when it hit the floor, way up to I-75. She could hear it in another state. That's just how good her ears is. But anyway, when she hear me coming, she position herself in the bed. I get in the bed and I put my arm around her every night. Now we change positions at night, you know what I mean? Because you don't want to be sleeping on one shoulder because it'll go to sleep and stuff. But every night I'm touching her, or she put her leg on me, or I'm putting a leg on her. That's every night. A tender touch. And the most important thing out of inspiration is called quality time. When you have inspiration, All of this is capped in quality time. So you're giving her attention, uplifting words, a good ear to listen. So, brother, when you listen, keep in mind, you don't listen only with your ear, you listen with your heart. That's where the empathy come in at. Listen with your heart. And then the tender touch, a hug, a kiss, and then quality time. Always set quality time with your woman. Number 3, she wants a good man to set her heart free. That's another thing. She wants a good man to set her heart free. She ain't looking for a man. She's searching for real love. Like Mary J. Blige said in the year July the 28th, 1992, when she released that song, that anthem for women, looking for a new love. I mean, not looking for a new love, looking for real love. That's what you said. Jolie Watley said she looking for a new love. You don't want, women don't want, good women don't look for new love. They searching for real love from the right man. But back to number 3, she want a good man to set her heart free. There are so many women that made bad choices in their life. Like men make bad choices. So there could be a woman that she have been through a series of the wrong men until she asked God to call the right man to find her. But if she didn't ask God, naturally she's going to run to the wrong man. So when a woman decides to ask God from the rip, then she looking for a man to set her heart free. There are so many women that are emotionally scarred. So a woman, she is looking for a man. That's right, Sister Flo, real love. She looking for that particular real love from the right man to set her heart free. She desires to experience real love. Majority of the women have never experienced real love because they got that bar around their heart. They got those walls around their heart. And you could tell them they don't, they want to open up their heart, but they scared to do it because of their past. But if you're the right man, brother, guess what? God is going to give you the key to her heart. She ain't gonna give you the key. God gonna give you the key. Listen to me, brother. When God calls you to find the right woman, her heart more than likely been broken several times. And she got a wall. Just like Jesus do not just bomb rush you. Jesus don't do it. What Jesus do? He knock on the door. Jesus said, if you open up your heart now, come in. That's how Jesus just gently knock on the door. And that's what you have to do, brother. You have to gently knock on the doors of her heart. That's where her emotions at. Let me tell you, this is how it works, brother. When God give you the key to a woman's heart, you see, before God give you the key to a woman's heart, he's going to bring the right woman to you. So, brother, when he bring the right woman to you, you got to say, I'm going to do her right. You got to decide to do it right. Are you going to fall on your face sometime? Yes, you are. Are y'all going to have problems sometime? Yes, you are. But when God give you the key, you are responsible, brother, for that woman. Because you are the leader in the relationship, so you are going to be responsible for that woman. Because the Bible said that the woman is the weaker vessel. That's what the Bible said. Tony ain't saying it. Tony just tell you what the Bible said. It said the woman is the weaker vessel. The Bible said you got to deal with a woman with understanding. So God gonna give you a key that's called understanding. That's the key that God gonna give you, brother. It's called the key of understanding. So when you put that key of understanding that woman, that's the Lord's Spirit working with that woman's spirit. You understand? So when God's Spirit work with that woman's spirit, how you doing, Sister Tiara? Work to the dinner table. She gonna slowly open the door. She ain't gonna just open it like that quickly. She gonna slowly open the door. And just like a house have different rooms in it. Listen to this illustration. Just like a house have different rooms in it, brother. That woman got different emotional rooms in her. So the more comfortable she gets, she's gonna open up different doors to different rooms in her life. Because you see, your thing, brother, you just should desire to become her best friend. She had a best friend. She got a best friend, a woman friend, probably. But you see, brother, you supposed to eventually be her best friend. after the Lord, you supposed to be her best friend. She need to come to you to talk to you about anything. And see, that's another thing, brother. When a woman open up her heart, when the God give you the key to understanding, if the right woman, if she feels confident with you, and she feel at ease, and she know that you're not gonna judge her on everything or throw something up in her face and make it seem like she did something to cause something to happen to her. If you just let this woman open up, she's gonna tell you a whole bunch of stuff. And you know the thing about it, so I mean, brother, a lot of these women that been hurt in the past, they hadn't told nobody about what happened. They hadn't told no one. She will more than likely tell you some stuff that happened in her past. And when she tell you some stuff that happened in her past, it happened. Like I have said at the dinner table before, brother, some of the women that you brothers dating right now, they have been abused mentally, emotionally, and physically by a man or men. Some women have been physically and emotionally abused by men in their family that they don't talk to nobody about. They be going through the motion, or other men. So, brother, you don't know a lot of trauma that a lot of women come with. They may look good and they may be smiling and stuff, but a lot of women are dealing with trauma. And then when she open up to you, brother, she's opening up. It might be something that she never discussed with no one, but she feels safe with you. See, that's what you want her to do. You want her to feel safe with you. And in order for a woman to feel safe with you, she got to believe that she's the one. She got to believe that she's the one. If she have a doubt about another woman or something, you are that you married to somebody else, or you got another girlfriend, you live with no woman, she can't give you her all. She got to think that she's number one. Brother, you don't never want to cause that woman to doubt you. If she doubts you, she's gonna close off some rooms on her because she's trying to prevent herself from getting hurt again. So she has to feel that she's number one, she number two in your life after the Lord. Okay, after the Lord. So that's how she's gonna set her heart free, which leads to number four. She wants from you, brother, when it comes to real love, she wants the good, she wants the bad, and she wants the ugly. What do I mean by that? She wants the good, she wants the bad, she wants the ugly. She desire for you to, when you give her real love, she would like for you to be transparent. That's what I mean by that. She desire for you to give her the real. When a woman asks you a question, brother, your woman, don't lie to her. Don't lie to her. Don't tell her no partial truth. Because some guy, you want to tell the woman partial truth. That ain't You supposed to tell her the full truth. If your woman come to you, you have to tell her the full truth. If she asks you a question, it might hurt her. But if she come ask you a question, deal with her truth. Let me tell you something, brother. A lot of you guys, you think that a woman can't handle the truth. A woman can handle more than you think she can. A woman can carry a baby, and that's some pain. But at the end, she have joy because she have delivered a male child or female child. Women can bear a whole lot of things, brother. That's not for you to decide whether she can handle something or not. But if your woman come to you and ask you a question, brother, but if you got to lie, just don't say nothing. That's my recommendation. If you have to lie, or if you have to say a partial truth, if you got to tell a partial truth, you might as well not say nothing to her all. Disclose to her the full truth. And let me tell you this, sister, this come to you. Do not ask a man, a real man, question that you can't handle. Because there are a lot of women out there, some of you sisters, you say you want to know the truth, but when the man tell you the truth, then some women, you're gonna flip it back around on them and say why and all that kind of stuff. Why would you want to do that? So, sister, my recommendation to you, don't ask a question if you can't deal really with the truth from a weird man. You want real love, right? If you desire real love, and you ask the man the question, you got to go with it. You got to go with the good, the bad, the ugly. Casper on that said, then how come when you tell the hard truth, they explode? Amen. That's the point. Sister, do not ask questions and then you're going to explode. Do not do it. Don't put yourself in that situation. Let me give you a classic. I hope it don't come to this, but I'm going to give you an example. Listen carefully, sister and brother. And we're talking to couples that are in a serious, committed, and covenant relationship from God's point of view. Sister, listen to me. This is an example. If you go to your man and you ask him this question, have you ever been with another woman in any capacity while we've been together? That's an example. If you can't handle him saying yes, don't ask the question. And that's just an example. What did I say? I said, brother, she want the good, the bad, and the ugly. That means being transparent. Sister, if you desire for that man to be totally transparent and you ask him a question like that out of your curiosity, that's on you. If you desire real love, because it's a possibility that he have. And I'm not endorsing that, but it's a possibility that he have. But if he have done it and you desire the truth, if he say, yes, I have been with another woman, you ask the question, right? So, brother, if she asks you the question, have you been with another woman? It's either yes or no. It's either yes or no. It ain't no in between. It's either yes or no. If you have to answer partial, don't say nothing at all. If you have to lie to her, don't say nothing at all. But so that's an example of the good, the bad, the ugly. If you ask them a question like that, prepare for, like Casper on that say, the hard truth. A lot of you sisters, I ain't saying all, a lot of you sisters, you want the hard truth. But when you want the hard truth or desire the hard truth, when the man tell you that, you become a volcano and you explode. And he said, you ask the question, and I'm trying to be truthful with you. And when I be truthful with you, you want to explode. I'm going to tell you this. When it comes to marriage, my brother and sister, let me tell you that, listen to what I'm saying. A lot of time when it comes to a relationship, you know when relationship grow the most? Relationship grows the most when you go through a storm. And I ain't talking about a man being with another woman or a woman being with another man. A lot of time relationship grows when you go through a storm. If you're going through a sunshine, that's okay. Everybody wants the sunshine, but there's a thing that's called rain. When you plant a seed out in the yard, it needs a combination of the sun and the rain. In a relationship, in order for a relationship to grow, it needs the sun and the rain. Listen to me. I know you don't want the rain, brothers. I know you don't want the rain, sister, but a lot of time people get closer when they go through trauma in a relationship. Let me tell you this. We grew the most, my wife and I, our relationship grew the most when we went through some storms. It was a few storms, and guess what? The longer we stay together, a storm gonna come up again. It's a matter of this when it comes to relationship, my brother. So listen to this. Don't hear me, listen. You see, you're either going into a storm, you're in the midst of a storm, or you're coming out of a storm. So if you want to get in a relationship, be real. It's going to be some storms in your relationship. You're either going into one, you're in it, or you're going out. Your relationship, my brother and sister, have the 4 seasons too. You're going to have spring, you're going to have summer, fall, and winter. Your relationship is going to have it. Sister Tierra said, Catherine, on that's due to us already knowing, and when you tell us the truth, it just hurt to face the fact. That is really what was, that is really what we knew it was. It's the hope is not the truth, but it is the truth. That's right, Sister Tierra. Thank you for communicating with Casper on that. Like I said, my brother and sister, you could communicate with other brothers and sisters while we're at the dinner table. And that's a good example. How Sister Tierra, she talked with Casper on that. But let me tell you, we're at the dinner table, right? But let me tell you, sisters, do not listen to me. Do not ask questions that you can't handle. And brother, the same thing to you. Don't ask your woman a question that you can't handle, because some of you will flip out. And you see the thing about the guys, you have a low tolerance rate than women a lot of time. Women, when it comes to relationship, women a lot of time they tolerate more crap than men. As a matter of fact, you all remember that song that's called by R. Kelly a while back, when a woman fed up, and ain't nothing you could do about that. Let me tell you this, brother. A lot of time, if a woman really into you and she's trying to work on a relationship, she's going to come and talk to you. She's going to want to come talk to you, okay? Don't look at it as nagging. It would be nagging if you don't go ahead and address it. If you try to push it up on the road, because a lot of time women they're gonna hold on to stuff till they get clarity. So my recommendation, brother, go ahead and deal with it when she bring it. Because this is what women do a lot of times. They will come to you with a grievance. And if you call it nagging, it's not nagging, it's the grievance. So she wants to talk about it. She wants to get corrected. If you don't do it, this is what her next step. She is going to, you don't want her going outside of the house talking to one. That's why a lot of women go outside the house and talk to other people. You don't want her doing that. You want it to stay in your house. So if you don't handle it, brother, guess what? She's gonna stop talking. And then you're gonna look at it as it is a relief, but it's not a relief. It's not a relief. She's getting used to it. So you're going to notice she's going to stop talking. When a woman starts shutting down, communicating with your brother, other things going to start shutting down. That's what's going to happen. Other things are going to shut down. And when they get fed up, just like R. Kelly said on one of his songs, when a woman fed up, and ain't nothing you can do about it. And sometimes it's sad, some of you guys, it gets so sad when the woman fed up, and that's when you want to do, you want to correct it. But a lot of time when they get to that point, they don't want to correct it no more, because their emotion are not, their heart is gone. Number 5, she wants to put a good man on, because she knows she can. Listen to what? A good woman that desire real love, she desire because she want to put a good man on, because she knows she can. As it is written in the book of Proverbs 31:18. Again, Proverbs 31:18. Proverbs 31:18. It say, she perceived that her merchandise is good. Her candle goes not out by night. You see, a good woman that come into your life, brother, that the Lord brings to your life, she is ready to help you with the purpose that God put in your life. You understand? She is ready. So, brother, when God brings a good woman into your life, she is ready to help you with your purpose, your godly purpose. So she knows she's ready because God prepared her. She is a Proverbs 31 woman. So when God bring her to you, you have to know how to utilize her, not use her, because she's coming in to be a part of the team. She's coming in to have a relationship with God and you. It's a partnership. So understand that. She knows that what she got is good. And she just want to help you. She just want to help you. Marsha G said, what is an example of a tough question? And are we telling the truth with wisdom? Well, sister, an example of a good question, I'm going to just tell you what I think you missed out on. And welcome to the dinner table. A good question, I say, is like if a woman and a man is in a serious, committed, and covenant relationship, if the woman asks the man, have you been with another woman since we've been in the relationship? That's an example of a tough question. That's just a hypothetical. That's just a so what I'm saying, sister, if because the possibility that he have, it's a possibility that he have. But if he tell you yes, will you be able to handle the truth? That's a tough question. Will you be able to handle it? Don't ask questions that if you searching for real love. Now some people say, well, if it's real love, he won't do that. He might not. Gotta understand that the man is a human and the woman is a human. It's not no, I'm not making up no excuses, but things happen in relationship. In the best relationship, things happen. And a good example of the best relationship, there's not one man or one woman that experienced the type of relationship Adam and Eve had before they fell. Not one couple have never experienced the total type of real love like Adam and Eve experienced. They had it from the get-go. That's what they had. They had it from the get-go. Let me see what's going on here. Gerard Hall said, I agree, women do put up with a lot more. Not sure if we more patient or just foolish. Yep, women do. That's right. Women can put up with most stuff when it comes to relationship, especially negative stuff in relationship. Because most of the time, a lot of you guys, y'all want to say deuce it to the woman. Hypothetically speaking, if you ask your woman, have you ever been with another man since we've been together? If your woman told you yes, most of you guys, you would be ready to kick out the door. Most of you. Ain't no second chance with most of men. You know why? Because a thing called pride. But when you reverse it, that's not saying it will happen, but I'm just giving you a hypothetical. I'm going to give you an example. And some of you have heard this before. I was riding in a car with about 5 guys, and we ain't talking about the hamburger place. It was 5 guys in the car, and I was the driver. And we was talking about relationships. And I asked the guys, and some of the guys, they had crossed that line before. Okay, they had crossed that line. And I say, what if your wife were with another man? You see, before I asked that question, they were laughing and everything. But when I asked the question, what if you find out that your wife was with another man? The whole car got quiet. You could drop a piece of lint on the motor of a car. Now you could drop a piece of lint inside the car or in somebody's hand, they couldn't hear it or feel it. You see, what I'm saying is this. They got real serious. And most of them said, if my woman did that, she got to go. I said, well, you did. I said, you being a hypocrite. I said, how can you be with another woman or women, but when you find out your woman with another man, you ready to kick out? I said, that's being a hypocrite. That's just an example. Captain, they said another tough question. When you ask a woman about a prenup and get offended, question like that, that's another good point. Let me tell you this, sister. That's another good point that Captain that brought up. A lot of time, men, a lot of time today, they will ask for a prenup. The reason why a lot of men ask for a prenup is this. Is because 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by women. When you go get when you go to the courthouse, my brother and sister, to get that marriage license or marriage certificate, that's just like a business. Your marriage before the courts is like a business. It's like a business when you go get that license, and it's like a business when you want to get a divorce. Because when they get to a divorce, you definitely gonna see that the courts, they don't care nothing about your feelings. They care about assets and liability. If you got a divorce, courts look at your relationship like a business. As a matter of fact, my brother and sister, your relationship is a business. It's a love business, but it's serious. You see, your relationship is more than romance. It's more than romance. A lot of you brothers, so you got to face that it's more than just feelings. It's romance. It's business. It's some romance in it, but it's business. Marsha G said, I understand, Tony. I will ask the person who presented the question, but thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. So the first said, okay. Sister Tierra said, Catherine, on that, I would say as far as a prenup, that could be that the woman feel the man doesn't trust her or she just want nothing to do with it at all. It could be a number of reasons. Yeah, it could be a number of reasons. It could be a number of reasons, but let me tell you this. 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by women. According to statistics, it is. But that could be another topic another day. Number 6, she only wants to be faithful to one good man. If a woman is searching for real love, but not a relationship, she only wants to be faithful to one good man. Let me tell you something, brother. If a woman searching for real love, she's searching to put all her investment into one man, but he got to be the right man, brother. Are you that right man? Are you that Christian man? And I'm talking about a Christian woman. I ain't talking about no worldly woman. I'm talking about a Christian woman that desire to be faithful to a good woman. Let me tell you this, brother. When you get a good woman, that's not saying that she won't slip out the door on you. I'm not saying that. But majority of women, not all, but majority of women, good women, if they perceive that you're a good man, if you leading her the way God desire for you to lead her, and you giving her inspiration, the attention, uplifting words of encouragement, good, you listening to her, you give her tender touches, you giving her quality time, you done set her heart free, you being transparent with her, she know that she good and she want to invest in whatever God got going on with you. If she know that you're a good man, check this out. As it is written in the book of Proverbs 31:12, Proverbs 31:12, Proverbs 31:12, it said, she will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. So, brother, when the Lord calls you to find a good woman, when he bring a woman to you, her mindset, brother, is to do good and not evil against you. She coming to you with a team. Her love language is we, us, and our. That's a godly woman. Her love language is we, us, and our. She's not there to take from you. She's there to give. She's there to invest in a relationship. Worldly women come in with put it in my hand. Do this for me. Do this for me. Godly women come in and say, well, let's do this. What we're gonna do? Just let me know your plan so we can move forward. Worldly women want to know what your plan and what I'm going to get out of it. Godly women say we're going to both get something out of it because all about we, us, and our. That's her love language. She just want to be faithful to one good man. And the final thing, all she truly desire is to be loved, because there are so many women that have never experienced being loved by the right man giving her real love. A lot of women have never tasted what real love is. They never experienced what real love is from a man, even though they have a desire. Only a good few women that have ever experienced what real love is about. Some of you sisters, you have experienced real love before, but majority have never. You have been through a false sense of real love. And the reason why some women never experience real love, because the man, it all goes down to his relationship with Christ. If that man does not have a relationship with Christ, he can't give you real love. I'm just telling you, he could have all the money in the world. He could do some things, but he can't give you he can't give you what he doesn't have. And if he doesn't have a relationship with Christ, he might be a nice guy. But you see, the Bible clearly say our righteousness is like filthy rags. So, sister, you may look at the man doing something great for you, paying your bills and giving you money and stuff. But in God's eye, that ain't about nothing. That's filthy rags. The only way a man could do you the love you how you need to be loved, he got to have a relationship with Christ. So I'm telling you this, sister, if the man is not a Christian, this is the bottom line. If he's not a Christian, he does not have the capacity to love you on a deep level. He can only love you from a secular, worldly level. He doesn't know how to love you. He never been taught by Christ. He never been guided by Christ. He never been shown by Christ. Because you got to understand this, sister. In order for the man, brother, you got to understand it. In order for you to love her, Christ got to motivate you from within. It's a prerequisite. Christ have to be in you to do it. Sister Cheryl said, I never. That is why I have been celibate for so long. That's right. And let me tell you something, Cheryl. You're doing right, Cheryl. You're doing right. Be celibate until God calls the right man to find you. Sister Marsha G said, if you are really a godly man, should I be worried about you fornicating while we're dating? Sister, that's a good question, Sister Marsha G. There's a possibility that he might fornicate. It's a possibility. He might. That could be one of his weaknesses. He might fornicate. Not saying he will. He might. He might not. Hopefully he doesn't. Hopefully he doesn't. Hopefully it doesn't. And hopefully a woman doesn't do it either. But let me tell you this, Sister Marsha G and the rest of you sisters and brothers. Majority of the men and women that get married, and we're talking about the United States of America, Western society, majority of married couples have fornicated before they got married. And majority of the married couples that marry one another, more than likely, they fornicated with one another before they got married. Most people that get together aren't virgins. Most men and women that get together, they have a history. Whether they got children as proof or not. Most, I didn't say all. So for some of you guys, if you desire to have a woman that is a virgin, the question is, are you a virgin? So how can a man expect for a woman to be a virgin if if you're not a virgin? And vice versa, sister. If you desire a man to be a virgin and you're not a virgin, how can you desire for a man to be a virgin? Come on, we can't be no hypocrite, but you got to understand it, my brother, sister, especially when it comes to age. You just got to face it. Brothers, more than likely, the woman that you got married to, she probably had a history with another man or men. You understand that, brother? More than likely, she have had a relationship with a man or men. And sister, you need to understand it too. More than likely, if you're in a relationship with a man, he probably have had a woman or women. That brings this point. Brothers, when it comes to the truth and transparency, my recommendation for you is, why are you going to ask a woman how many sexual partners she had before you? Why are you going to do that? Why are you doing it? How many relationships did you have before her? That's a hypocritical part in our society. A lot of you guys, you want to count and see whether the woman worthy or not if she done been with more than one man. You may give her a pass on one man, but you want to really know the real numbers. Brothers, that's a thing that you need to, my recommendation, brother, if you're going to marry the woman and then she's in Christ and she got her sins and stuff washed away, leave that to Jesus. That was her past. Just like you had a past, brother, she had a past. So, and let me tell you something, sisters. That's a deal breaker for a lot of men, how many men you've been with. But you see, the deal breaker with a lot of men, a lot of these men are hypocrites. They done been with a whole bunch of women, but they don't want the woman to be with more than one man. And then this is some real hypocrisy. Some women, they may have 2 or 3 or how many children by different men, right? So a man would look at the woman and say, she is a garden tool, because look how many children she got by different men, and who knows who else she been with. That's how some men see it. So, but the question is, brother, what about a lot of women? Not all women, but there are some women that do like that too. Brother, you may have different children by different women, and then a woman don't want to be with you because you got X amount of children by another woman, but she done had several millions in her bed. So a lot of women, they hypocrisy too. They hypocrisy. So my thing about it, when it comes to handling the truth, you got to be able to know that a man or woman had a past. So my brother and sister, listen to me carefully. A man and a woman before you more than likely had a past. And you, sister, if you never experienced real love before, it exists, but it only exists in a man that you pray to God about. Ask God, when God bring a man to you, I'm searching for real love from a godly man. That's what you need to ask God, sister. I need, if you have a desire for me, I need real love from a right man that you called to find me. Now, before I close up, my brother and sister, before I close up, you all remember that movie called Boomerang? Eddie Murphy was in it, in Halle Berry. It's one scene that I want to focus on. This is one scene I want to focus on. If you all seen Boomerang, Eddie Murphy character was Marcus, right? And Halle Berry character was Angela. Eddie Murphy, he had a history of being with women. So he was messing with Robin Gibbons. She flipped the table on Eddie, you know. So and Halle Berry character Angela, she grew in love with Eddie Murphy character. So he was trying to do right. But what he did was one thing. Let me tell you this. He stepped out the boundaries of what a bit of their quote unquote relationship, right? They should have been married anyway. But the point what I'm making is this. When, brother, when you love a woman, this is what I got to say going out. Love should have brought you home last night. What I'm saying, when you love a woman, you're going to do her right. You may fall sometime, but majority of the time, brother, do right. Do right by God. Cause if you hurt her, you violating God first. And sister, the same thing. If you do him wrong, you violate your relationship with the Lord. So, brothers, Lord should have brought you home last night. What is a home? Home is where the heart is at. If your woman is in your heart and she's your home, Lord should have brought you home last night. Sister Marcia, and that's what I'm talking about. If you can't handle the truth, then I don't need to know, because it can go both ways. But a man look at a woman different because of double standard. That's right. That's right. Sister Flo said, amen. Sister Marcia said, do you understand that most Christian men have surrendered their lives to Jesus, but not their Lord? That is true, Sister Marcia. A lot of Christian men, they have done that, and that's an issue that a whole bunch of men have, and some women. That sexual thing. That's why the Bible want us to be married. So, cause God rather for sex to take place in the confinement of a marriage. And Jarrell House said, my prayer is to have what the Most High want from me. He knew me before I was formed in my mother's womb. Amen. With him, I can't go wrong. Amen. Everything is temporary, but Yah is eternal and conditional. Amen. 100%. You, brother and sister, thank you so much for coming to the dinner table. Are there any more questions or comment before we depart from the dinner table? If you have a question or comment, put wait and we'll address it right now. If you don't have nothing, We can depart right now, and Lord willing, we can meet at the dinner table tomorrow night, okay? Okay? So if you have any question or comment, put wait, and I'll wait, and I'll address it. Or you have something to say to another brother and sister, say wait, and we'll address it. If not, you all get some of this good soul food, some of the good food for the soul, put it in a carry and take it and share with some more family members and friends, okay? And you're welcome, Sister Flo and Sister Cheryl. Thank you all so much. Uh, remember, my sister and brother, I'm gonna clean up the kitchen. You ain't got to do nothing. Just take these good soul food with you. Deandra Glover said, I really need your advice, Pastor. I'm in a relationship with a woman that is very helpful to me and is very bashful, and it caused me to have low self-esteem just because I lost my job. Okay. All right. Okay, brother, if you lost your job, are you and that woman married for one thing, brother? Are y'all married? What type of relationship y'all have? Are you married, or what type of, are you married or you're not? I need to know that. Are you married or are you not? Then I could know which way to go with. I need to know what type of relationship you have. Are you married or you're not? Brother Glover. So I can answer it. We are not married. Okay, great. Great. Thank you for, okay, let me tell you this, brother. Are you all engaged? Are you engaged? Another question. Are you engaged? And set a marriage date. Are you engaged and have you set a marriage date? All right. You say, I want to marry her. All right. This is my suggestion for you, brother. First of all, you lost your job. You're not a failure, okay? You're not a failure. We're going through a whole bunch of stuff in this economy. You're not a failure. So you will get another job, brother. And let me tell you this, brother, a lot of times, yeah, you need to yeah. Okay, you said we're not engaged. Okay, brother. How God would like a relationship, brother Glover. He desires for a relationship for a man and woman to be serious first, and then he desires for a man and woman to be committed. Both of them got to commit to it with their free wills. That means that it's clear that we're off the market. And some people go ahead and get engaged with a marriage date leading towards marriage, or go ahead and get married. But the position that you're in now, my suggestion to you is first, I know it's hurting and stuff like that. But my thing to you, go ahead and try to secure another job, and you're not a failure. Go ahead and try to get another job, and then talk to her, because I'm telling you, you need a job. You need some form of income coming in. You need some form of income. Then you could revisit her again. I know it's going to be rough, but just get your job for it, brother. And then you could talk to her alone. And while you're talking, and and then you talk to her about the future and see whether or not y'all can get engaged and see what happens. But you have to pray to God first. Pray to God for a job. That's what you do. Pray to God for a job. Get your job first. Then you could concentrate on relationship. That's just how it is. And you see, then maybe she'll come along. But don't let your self-esteem be low, because I have lost a job before in my life. I have done it. I know what it's like to lose a job. But during the period when I had lost a job, I knew I wasn't even interested. I was interested in a woman, but I could not really invest in a woman until I got myself together. So all you brothers out there, get yourself together first, before you are getting a relationship with a woman. Just like when God brought Eve to Adam, Adam had everything together. When God brought Sarah to Abraham, everything was together. When he brought Rebecca to Isaac, everything was together. When he brought Leah and Rachel to Jacob, which name became Israel, he had everything together. And this is the classic. When God brought Ruth to Boaz, Boaz had everything together. So that's how it goes. God would like a man to be equipped, then he bring the woman. And to tell you the truth, brother, you may not want to hear this at the time. She may not be the one that God wants you to be with. And it took the job situation for her to pull back. It's a possibility that she may not be the one. You may not see it right now, but it's a possibility that she might not be the one. And when you lost your job, it's showing you a little bit, unless y'all had some more problem, it's showing you that that she won't stand with you. I don't know the full thing about your relationship, but if she left you because you lost your job, that's giving you a good indication that she won't be there. And it could be God could use that loss of a job to position you for a better job and bring the right woman in your life. It could be that. Could be that. But anyway, my brother, and if you need to talk more, brother, just hit me up in my inbox. And Jarrell, I hope I pronounced your name right. Jarrell, Jabrall Hall said, wait, I'll wait. Brother Glove said, I had a job the whole entire time until now, and I've been with her 5 years. Oh, wow. Well, brother, based on the little information that you have given to me, 5 years, that's a long time just to be dating, brother. But it could be a blessing. It could be a blessing to give you a new job and bring the right woman into your life. And brother, when God brings a woman into your life, you got to go ahead and make up your mind whether or not she's wife material or not, and go ahead, be serious, commit in the covenant relationship. And Jarrell Hall said, should a woman wait for a man to become established? How long? Yes. He should be established and have, okay, let me tell you this. The man should have a relationship with God first. He should have somewhere to stay, not with his mama unless his mama is sick and he's taking care of her. He needs to have some form of income where he could take care of himself first. And he had the possibility of taking care of a wife and possible children. So he needs to be established before the woman and him get into a relationship. He should have a relationship with God. He should have somewhere to stay on his own. And he should have some form of income coming in. That he could have his own business or working for someone. So he needs to be able to stand. No man should be thinking about being in a relationship with no woman unless he, like I said again, a relationship with God, and he got somewhere to stay and some form of income. He doesn't have to stay in no mansion, but long he got somewhere to stay. You're welcome. Thank you. Now, you brother and sister, I hope that you all have a good night. And if you have any question or whatever, thank you for asking your question, because we family here. Thank you. And Lord willing, we'll be at the dinner table tomorrow. I hope that you all have a good night. I love you, brother. I love you, sister. Peace out.